Hey friends, welcome back to Six Hearts on 6 Acres. I'm out here in the garden pretty early this morning. Got a whole bunch of baskets here with me, and we are going to do a fairly decent harvest today. I know I have several things ready to go in the garden, so I'm just going to get as much out of here as I can. It is officially summer now, and the weather has noticed and decided that we're going to have a heat wave this week, as well as being dry for the first time in weeks. So I have quite a bit that I want to go ahead and get out here before it really heats up. The first place that we're going to start is in these green beans. This is going to be my very first harvest. As you can tell if you look from this side that they are very windblown. We had some high winds come through here, but that showed me that I have a whole bunch of beans in here that are ready to go. Let's see if we can fill this basket. I'm not exactly sure how much is in here. Typically the first harvest is a smaller one, but I will take what I can get. I want to show you just how many bean plants I fit into one of these buckets. Plant spacing is a rule that can easily be broken, and green beans is like one of the best plants to break those rules with. I think it says to plant each bean, I'll have to go back and look at the package and I'll put it down here, about how far apart you should plant each bean. But I mean, I just threw as many beans in these buckets as I could possibly fit. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 to 20 green bean plants in this bucket that is about that big around. And it's gonna give me a ton of beans. Look at all of these beans, guys. I thought that I was going to be picking for fresh eating. That is not the case. I'm halfway done now, and I definitely will be pulling out my canner, and I may actually try and freeze dry some of these beans as well. I'm really curious. Heard great things about that, so I think we'll get a load of the canner going and a load on the freeze dryer going as well. I also just happened to glance up at my pull beans and notice that they are ready to harvest too. So we have our work cut out for us today. I am finished picking green beans. I came out here hoping to get enough for dinner tonight and was hugely surprised with this amount. We're gonna get to do lots of preserving today, which just makes me really happy, especially because I have the time today, which when you don't have to rush those things, is always so nice. I said I harvested all of the beans, and I guess I did, but I haven't harvested. Those were the bush beans, so I still need to come over here and harvest my pole beans. This is my first harvest off of them as well. Pole beans are so much easier to pick because you don't have to stoop over, so they're a lot nicer on your back. That's all I see out here. I'm gonna head to the inside of the trellis and see if there's any more. The wind is really starting to blow. I did not plant any purple beans, but they must have volunteered from last year because I do have some on here. I am embarrassed to even show you this bed. It is terribly weedy, but I do have some cabbages in here, just a few of them that are ready to come out. They're starting to get some bug damage on them pretty severely. You can see something's really been munching on that. Honestly, that doesn't look like a bug to me. That looks like an animal. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out so I can use them. That's a decent sized cabbage. Another one. And I got one more. This one's little. Food is food, even when the bud is hidden in weeds. I told you that we got a lot of wind this week. Look at this. I cannot even walk through this tomato row. There are tomatoes everywhere. I'm gonna have to come in through here and get this all clipped back up. And like I showed you back then in the garden tour, I am having some fungal problems, so I need to do a lot of trimming on these plants as well. Shishito peppers are not spicy most of the time. I think like 1 in every 1,000 or something like that they say can be spicy. I have not had a hot one. I love to just saute these up really quickly in a little bit of oil and then toss them with like a soy sauce and honey type of mixture and some ginger, some garlic. They're so good. We kind of eat these on repeat all summer long, that exact same way. Last year I also had such an abundance of them that I made a shishito pepper pesto, and that was delicious as well. Look what I just found. My very first ripe tomatoes of the season. There are 2 of them here. These are the Sun Golds. I'm super excited for these. And of course, the first tomatoes of the season are mine. These are so sweet, they taste like candy. These collard greens are the next thing on my must harvest today list before they bolt, because it is getting incredibly warm here in Southwest Missouri. This is my first time growing collard greens. My mom has cooked them occasionally, and I'll be honest, they weren't my favorite thing. But I had gotten some seeds for free from Baker Creek, and I decided I was going to try them out for myself, and so that's what we're doing. You guys gave me tons of ideas and recipes to use these, hopefully in a way that hopefully I will enjoy them. So I'm just gonna harvest all of these leaves today. I did have one plant over here start to bolt, so I haven't decided. I have so much here, I haven't decided if I'm gonna harvest the one that bolted or not, or if I should just feed that to my chickens. I don't know if they get like super bitter like lettuce does. I guess I need to do some Googling first and decide if I'm gonna harvest. All right, I think that's quite a bit. That is plenty for me to try these out for the first time and decide if they are something that I want to grow again. I'm gonna give what's left here to my chickens and let them have a nice green meal for the day. The next thing I am harvesting is these calendula flowers. Calendula is excellent for people who struggle with dry skin, and so I love to put it into my homemade soap. I just harvest these and then let them sit out on the counter to dry, and then I will save those leaves for my next batch of soap. While I was harvesting those, I spied this plant that is just kind of loaded with peppers and getting heavy for the plant, so I'm going to pull some of those off. You can see my onions are starting to really lay down. This week is completely dry, so I'm going to let them lay and kind of dry this week, and then I will harvest those. These peppers were labeled Purple Beauty. I don't know if that's a mistake on my part or on the pepper packaging part, but I'm pretty sure they're banana peppers and they don't smell spicy at all. The potato plants in this bed are really starting to yellow and lay over and look poor. That means they're just almost ready to harvest. But I'd like some for dinner tonight to go with those green beans. So I'm just going to pull a few plants up and see what I get. I wasn't sure what potatoes that I had planted here, but these are like a really dark purplish blue potato. I think these are the ones that I picked up in the pack from Sutherland's. I'm gonna make a little pile so we can see how many I get out of just this small area right here. Oh, and there's like a red maybe fingerling one as well. These are some good sized potatoes. So that's what I'm getting for right here. There may be some deeper, and when I pull out this whole bed and I'll turn over all the soil and find out, but I'm pretty happy with this little harvest. This is gonna be perfect for our dinner. Have this beautiful rosemary here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pinch some of it off. I love to just gather herbs while I'm out here. That way when I am cooking, I have them there handy, and then I use them a lot more frequently. Our beans are all snapped, so I am going to start off with actually getting dinner going. I want to have some beans and new potatoes for dinner, so I'm just going to wash what I want for that. Awesome. So probably about like a colander full for my family. How many did we get? 2. Fresh green beans take a little while to cook, and because I'm going to be busy preserving in the kitchen today, I want this to be hands off, so I'm using my crock pot. I'm just going to throw those straight in there. I had some onions growing in between my broccoli and cauliflower plants, mostly for a pest deterrent. They stayed pretty small because there wasn't a lot of sunlight getting to them. But these are going to be perfect just to throw into this dish to add a lot of flavor. My kids helped with the green beans, and I keep seeing little stems on there. I have to show you, look how beautiful the color on these is. They are like dark violet purple. This is my favorite color of vegetable. I love the purple cauliflower, the purple, just these are cream on the inside, just a purple potato. I love the purple sweet potatoes. Like, I want to eat all purple food apparently. I am just gonna like half the smaller ones and quarter the bigger ones. And that is not the knife to do it with. There these are like buttery yellow on the inside and that super pretty purple on the outside. You don't have to worry about peeling these potatoes at all because these are new potatoes. I just dug them this morning. They haven't cured. The skin on them is super tender, so you can just like scratch it right off. So it's not going to be tough at all. I don't remember the variety of these, but they were some type of fingerling potato, and they are really almost like pink, really pretty as well with that buttery center. I'm also going to add some of this garlic that we harvested just a few videos back. I like food really garlicky. I have a whole crock pot full of beans and potatoes, so I'm just going to use this entire thing. And then I'm just gonna season this with salt and pepper. Typically, I would also add some bacon in here. I don't have any in my fridge. I'm gonna go look downstairs and see if I have any in my deep freeze. But if I do, I'm gonna have to thaw it out and then add it in here in just a bit. So just a good amount of salt and pepper and water to cover. I'm gonna just mix this up a little bit so everything's kind of incorporated. And then I'm gonna cook this on high until everything's cooked and tender. It'll probably take like, I don't know, 4 hours or so. Alright, so I decided what I'm going to do with these beans. I was going back and forth on whether I should can them, which is my preferred method in the past, or whether I should freeze dry them. This is what I have left after putting some in the crock pot for dinner. I read several reviews on TikTok and YouTube, and I decided I am going to blanch them, dip them in ice water, and then I'm going to load them into my freeze dryer. Like I said, pressure canning green beans in the past has always been my preference. If you want to see a video on how to do that, I'll make sure and link it in the description below from last year. You can also freeze your green beans. Personally, I don't love the texture of frozen green beans, but I know a lot of people do really love it. So I want to try and freeze dry these and just see how they turn out. Now, some people freeze dry them and like season them and make them for a snack. That's not what I want for this batch. I want these to be able to be rehydrated and eaten like fresh green beans, such as in green beans and potatoes, or we make like a southern green beans with vinegar and sugar that's really good. I want to be able to throw them into soups and stews, that type of thing. So I think this is going to work out really well. I think it's going to be quick and easy, which is nice because pressure canning is not quick. It takes time and it heats up the house. So I think that this is the way that I'm going to go today, and I hope that it goes great. I will make sure when it's done freeze drying to rehydrate some of the beans and taste them and show them to you, show you what they look like, and see if I like the texture of freeze-dried green beans or not. While the water is coming to boil for the green beans, I'm just going to lay out all of these calendula flowers so that they can start to dry. You don't need to do anything special here. Just let them sit kind of spaced out and unbothered for several days, and these petals will just completely dry. I will link my video below where I showed you guys how to make homemade soap, and I used these dried calendula leaves from last year in it, and it is our daily soap now. We absolutely love it. Makes my skin so soft, and it smells really good. Plus, like, these leaves, I feel like none of the recipes that I read about it said anything about being exfoliating, but these dried leaves all mixed in that soap, I feel like are also exfoliating on your skin. That's it. My water is boiling, so I am just going to give these a 1-minute boil real quickly. That is going to kill any bacteria on them and stop the enzymes in them from making them go bad over time. It's also going to really help preserve the color. All right, and then from that boiling water, they're going to go straight into an ice bath to stop the cooking. I have my freeze dryer trays here. I use the Stay Fresh freeze dryer. I will make sure and include an affiliate link below if you'd like to check it out. I absolutely love the product. I have freeze dried so many things since I've got it just a few short months ago. This could not be easier as far as preserving food goes. That took no time at all, and I have 4 trays of fresh green beans ready to go into the freeze dryer right now. My freeze dryer is a 5 tray, so I'm trying to decide what I want to go in with these. I could definitely do those collard greens, but I've really been wanting to do eggs, and I have a surplus of eggs this week, so I'm sitting here going back and forth. Today's the day of decisions, apparently. I think I am going to do my 5th tray full of scrambled eggs. Really quickly, I'm going to have some leftovers for lunch. I harvested these Megatron jalapenos out of the garden and filled them with cream cheese, wrapped them with bacon, and baked them the other night, and they were delicious. And they heat up really well, too. All right, I am getting the eggs ready to go into the freeze dryer. These are just going to be scrambled eggs. I want to be able to use them for cooking up just scrambled eggs, but also to throw into baked goods all winter long. I would love to have enough to do that all winter and not have to purchase eggs. That is definitely my goal. We will see how it goes. This is my first time freeze drying eggs. I'm not exactly sure how many are going to fit into my freeze dry tray. I have 12 here. We are going to try that. It looks about right to me. If I need to add some, I will. And if I have too many, then I can cook us some scrambled eggs. No big deal. I'm not seasoning with salt and pepper or adding anything to these because I want them to be multi-purpose. And I'm just going to whisk them up really well. That looks like just the right amount to me. We will go put it in the freeze dryer along with those green beans and see how it goes. All right, I did not pre-freeze, so I'm just gonna load my trays in here. This is the tray that my eggs are gonna go on. It's empty right now. I've always heard that you're supposed to put your wettest tray on the second shelf, so that's where that's going. And then I will just put these green beans all around it. All right, and then I'm just going to pull that out. And 18 looks to be the perfect amount. Close it tight, freeze drying, and start. Next up, we are going to deal with this cabbage. And I have told you all winter long and all spring long that I am going to learn to ferment this year. It is one of my goals. So we are going to start with this cabbage. We're going to take these outer leaves off. and get to as nice and clean and least bug-bitten leaves as possible. All right, I am happy with that. So this here is what we are working with. I checked this book out from my local library last week because, like I told you, I really want to learn how to ferment, and my favorite way is really to just dig in and do a lot of reading. And I found a recipe in here called coyote kraut that I really wanted to try. Most people I know would go with super basic, just plain cabbage sauerkraut for their very first one, but I'm gonna go a little bit different. This one really just stood out to me and sounded good. It's cabbage with red bell pepper and corn in it, and so we are going to try it today and see how it goes. To start off with, I need 1,540 grams of cabbage, so I am just going to chop these up and slice them really thinly. All right, now I'm gonna add 40 grams of salt. I am just using some pink Himalayan, and then we're gonna vigorously massage that salt into the cabbage and let it set for 5 minutes until it starts to really release some moisture. We got a bigger bowl, so we are going to transfer this because I'm just making a mess. It says to vigorously massage until the cabbage begins to release liquid, about 5 minutes. It will transform in color and texture, becoming translucent and pliable as you go. When you grab a handful of your shredded cabbage and squeeze the liquid out of it easily, it's ready to go. And I'm not there yet. There we go. All right, I'm gonna say we're ready for the next step. All right, so the other ingredients that are going in here is corn kernels, red bell pepper, and sage. I went and got the sage out of the garden. I'm just gonna chop it up really quickly. This is definitely more than 2 tablespoons, so I will not be putting all of this in here. That's what I'm going to use. I'll save the rest of that for another recipe. And then I need 200 grams of thinly diced red bell pepper. No idea how much 200 grams is. Probably the whole thing, because that's 100. There we go. We're just gonna thinly cut all of this bell pepper into strips, and then we'll add that in along with our frozen corn. Fermented food is supposed to be so good for you, specifically for your gut health. It contains like trillions of strands of lactobacteria. I'm not going to pretend that I am a scientist on this or even really well versed, but I have read a little bit, and I just know that it's supposed to be super amazing for your body. And the reason I hadn't tried it before was because honestly I didn't know if I liked fermented foods. But we went to the Baker Creek Spring Fest, and there was a vendor there, and he had all different types of fermented krauts and kimchis and all different kinds of things. And he was doing like free samples, and so I tried it and I really liked it. I had just a purple cabbage, I think, and it was seasoned with different like seeds, like dill seed and fennel seed, maybe caraway. But it was really good, and I liked the flavor a lot, so that just kind of like lit my fire of really want to learn how to ferment. Now, I'm not obviously completely new to fermentation because I do sauerkraut, and sauerkraut is fermented grains. But anything further than that, I have never experimented in. Would really like to also start a ginger bug here soon. But again, I don't know what it tastes like. I see all of these videos and it looks so cool, and you can make all these different flavors. But I'm not sure if I will like it or not. But I am gonna try that soon. All right, there is our bell pepper, and we need 200 grams of corn. Okay. The recipe says to add 1 tablespoon of red chili flakes. I do not have that, but I do have some jalapenos that I picked this week, and I am just going to put 1 small jalapeno in there, and I'm going to include the seeds. I don't really like spicy food, but it's been so rainy and really mild this spring that my jalapenos have very, very little heat to them so far. So I think even with including the seeds, this is not going to make this like incredibly spicy or anything like that. This mixture is all finished. I'm just going to get it mixed. Oh, there's a lot of brine in here now. I'm going to get it mixed up really well, and then it is ready for my jars. I have a half-gallon jar here in my funnel. It's clean, obviously. I am just going to pack this mixture in here really tightly. This recipe says that it makes a half a gallon, but I am starting to get full and still have quite a bit left. So I either need to like really pack it in there quite a bit more than I have, or I'm gonna have to use another jar. I don't know, it might fit. Let's see. We're putting all of that brine in here. Okay, it is gonna fit. Now we just gotta do lots of packing. some of that brine is gonna come out. Okay. We have a very full jar. It looks really pretty from the outside. There is brine on the top, but there are a few floating pieces, and what you do to take care of that is you just get one of these inner leaves. Use this one. And I don't have like the fermentation stuff because this is my first one. So if you had a weight, you could put a weight in there. I do not have a weight. So I am just gonna push this cabbage leaf in there. Oh my goodness. Make a huge mess. But it's just gonna make sure that everything stays underneath that brine, and then it gets a lid. If you have a fermentation lid, obviously that is best. I do not, so I'm gonna have to remember to burp this every single day and let the gases out. And this is supposed to sit on my counter out of direct sunlight for 3 whole weeks, and then it'll be transferred into the fridge. All right, the freeze dryer is finished. This is the next day. Our eggs are dry, our green beans are dry. And they're all ready to get packaged up. What the dried eggs look like. Pretty cool looking. And then the green beans look like dry green beans. These are very dry. They just snap, making powder. I'm not gonna hydrate them right now, but I will be sure to use them this week sometime, at least a small amount, just so I can see what the rehydrated texture is like and see if I prefer freeze-dried green beans over my previous favorite, which is canned green beans. I am going to add an oxygen absorber to these because I'm not going to be using them right away. All right, that is all it takes. Super easy to prep these and to freeze dry them and to package them up. I'm going to get the rest of these done and then we'll move on to the eggs. Alright, we are going to move on to these eggs. I'm not exactly sure how well these are going to come out of here. Or, oh, I say that. Look at that. They lift right out. They are just like the weirdest powdery dried egg texture. I mean, it's not weird. It's completely dry. It's just weird for eggs. That's all. I thought that these might be hard to get out, but I think, oh yeah, they're not going to be hard at all. Look at that. They just lift right out of there. So I am just going to drop these into my jar, and then I'm going to mush them once they're in there, so I can use like a tablespoon at a time. So 1 tablespoon equals 1 egg. I'm going to use this spoon to just kind of break it all up so I can get more eggs in here. It is important to remember that these are raw eggs. This is exactly the same as using a raw egg product. Just like the green beans, I will rehydrate these and show you how they are probably sometime this week when I actually need eggs. I don't want to waste them. I'm not hungry right now, but I do want to show you the texture of how they rehydrate. So we will come back to that. This is 18 eggs in this jar. They all fit almost perfectly. I have a little bit more room in here, but I could not be happier with how this worked out. My freeze dryer ran like 28-ish hours. Didn't time it exactly, but I put it in yesterday around, I don't know, 2 o'clock, I think. And so these are gonna get a oxygen absorber as well. In a ring. These are clean but not new. You can see this one says 2024. I will label these all correctly. And there you have it. We are done with our freeze-dried project. We're going to move on really quickly. We're almost done. I know this video is long. Thank you so much for hanging out the whole time if you're still here. But it has been about 24 hours since we did that cowboy kraut, and we need to burp it for the day. This is how it is currently looking. I'm so thankful that I put it on a plate, because my plate is filled with that brine. It has definitely oozed. I don't see any bubble. Well, I say that. I am starting to see a little bit of bubbles. Let me show you. All right, you can see a few bubbles here and there. Let's burp it and see if there's any activity yet. Nothing yet. It doesn't smell at all. Honestly, it smells like red bell peppers. So we're just gonna put that lid back on. I am gonna get a clean plate and we will put it back over in our door corner. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me throughout this video. We got so much done in the garden and so much done in the kitchen. It is time for me to head out for the night. I actually need to go water for the first time in about a month. Actually, we're in a hot, dry spell here in Southwest Missouri, which means my garden is gonna need a little bit of extra tending to, and so I am gonna head out and take care of that so that it continues to produce for my family. I love sharing this journey with you. Make sure to leave me some love in the comments below. Let me know what you would like to see in upcoming videos. And until I see you next time, may God bless.